Hey, welcome. So this is probably going to be one of the last videos that I make for you guys, sadly. But this is probably going to be one of the most important ones because it actually connects directly to what you're going to be doing on Thursday, the actual exam session itself. So I'm going to break down the timing guide for the paper two as just kind of like a little way for you to remember exactly when to do specific things and the time frame to do it all in. So hopefully you're watching this and hopefully you get this and remember this the day of the exam, because a lot of the things that I'm going to explain to you now are going to be super important for Thursday morning. All right, so you're taking your exam Thursday. You walk in. One thing that is vital to your success on the exams is that you answer the correct number of questions you have to do. Number one, read the directions, read them clearly and understand and do whatever they ask you to do, okay? However, from my knowledge of what you have to do and the expectations, you have to answer two paper two essays. Two, right? You got to write two essays in the time frame at which you're going to be sitting. So please remember, if you only write one, you've done something wrong. If you've written three, you've done something wrong. You got to write two. And incredibly important as well, you have to answer two questions from separate units, okay? We have 4 units of study. You have to answer a question from at least 2 units of study, okay? If you answer 2 questions from 1 unit, that's going to be problematic because only one of them will count. And then that's going to be half of the grade, which I believe at best is a 4 or 5. So you have to answer 2 separate units, 2 separate questions, okay? That's key. That's the most important thing you need to know and remember for the exam day, okay? Other than that, how are you going to be successful? How can you be successful on that day? Timing is going to be everything. Remember, the mock exams I had you do in March, they actually mimicked the exact time frame that you're going to be answering your questions in on Thursday. An hour and 45 minutes. So if we're taking a look at this, you have 1 hour, 45 minutes to write 2 essays. Seems like a lot of time, but it's not a lot of time. So please, my suggestion for you is to give yourself about 50 minutes per essay, okay? With a 5-minute break in the middle if you need it. The very first thing that you're going to get is whenever you walk in, I am anticipating a start time at 8:30. If everybody gets there on time, that's when it should usually start. If you start later, just adjust the times accordingly. Anyways, you start, you'll have a 5-minute brainstorm that is given to you by the DP. You have 5 minutes to brainstorm and you're not allowed to write during that time frame. So my suggestion to you is go through, read the 8 questions and pick the 2 from separate units that you are most interested in writing. And then plan in that 5 minutes. You can do a lot of the brainstorming techniques that I have here. You can start thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and what logical fashion you're going to do it in. You can break down the questions, identify your command terms. You can start identifying the key concepts that are related to the questions or are inherently in the questions. You can start thinking about your case studies, the theories that you want to utilize in your answers and your arguments. That's going to be your time to do this. You can also start thinking about a counter argument if you need it, and potentially reflecting a little deeper on the implications of the question itself. Anyways, so you get about 5 minutes of brainstorming time. That's going to be important. Use it wisely. And then the actual written portion will begin, I'm guessing, unless things change and timeframes modify, around 8:35. So I'm saying about 8:35 to 9:25, 50 minutes, that's your first essay that you should be writing. And this is the essential structure. If you've already used the 5-minute brainstorm time, you can negate this section and just start writing. But during a brainstorm, like I said, you want to break down the question, the concepts, the content, brainstorm arguments, what's your main claims, what are your supporting claims, what's a counter argument claim, and then the structure of the response, because remember, you do get graded on the structure. Utilizing Peel, having a clear introduction and a clear conclusion. So make sure you do that. And then you have roughly I don't know, like I'd say about 30-ish minutes, 35 minutes to write the main body of your essay. Introduction, clear, strong arguments. And I would suggest most likely you're going to be writing at least 3 to 4 paragraphs of argumentation, okay? Um, and it kind of just depends on how much time you're using. My strong suggestion is at 9:15, with about 10 minutes left before 9:25, if you haven't done a counter argument and you need it, if it's a discuss or an examine, you might not need it. However, if it's a justify, to what extent, what else, evaluate, you're probably going to need it. So about that time, with about 10 minutes left, if you haven't done it, you need to do it, okay? The 10-minute mark is like the minimum time left that you need, right? If you haven't done it by this point, you need to do it, okay? Because you're going to be graded on that. If you've already been working on it, that's fine. Just be aware of the last 10 minutes that you need to have a clear conclusion, because that's an essay. So about 50 minutes to write one essay. Good job. Way to go. You're done. Now, you have an option. You have 5 minutes, right? I say you might have a 5-minute mental break if you need it, to just sit and just not look at other people's exams. Don't do that. But you can sit and just like consider, or just like close your eyes for a few minutes. Don't fall asleep. You just can stretch your hand. You can stretch a little bit, right? Like an airline stretch. And then while you're doing that, if you want, you can be generating and brainstorming for the next one. At that point, if you feel confident right after finishing this one and you just want to go into the next one, please do so. You'll save yourself a lot of headache and stress towards the end. But if you need that little break, it's okay. I've built it in with the time. Just be aware, no more than 5 minutes, okay? Next essay should start about 9:25 to 9:30, depending on if you're using this or not. At about 9:25, 9:30, that's about the first 5 minutes should be brainstorming again if you haven't done it already. But really be quick about it. Brainstorming needs to happen fast. You can't spend 10, 15 minutes on brainstorming. That's going to waste your time, and it's just going to be not advantageous to you. So make sure your brainstorm is quick. So about 5 minutes of brainstorming, break down the question, do everything you need to do, and then move into the development of your actual essay. Once again, with 10 minutes left, my strong suggestion is, if you need a counter argument conclusion, both separate, right? Counter argument and conclusion, make sure that you have at least 10 minutes to write that. 15 minutes would actually be advisable, because it takes time to actually write. But that's that 10-minute mark. If you don't have it, you need to do it. It's important. You need to get in there and finish it. And then by that point, about 10:20, that'll be, I'm guessing, around the time your exam's finished. So pat yourselves on the back and be happy with all the work that you've done. This is the timing guide. You have access to it. You have my video explaining it. And good luck on Thursday. Send me any questions if you have any. Okay? See ya.